So I've got CJ Carr from Notre Dame, who I find it interesting. And this is more like message board stuff than stuff that's gotten out, I think, into the mainstream. But every time some quarterback leaves, like when Nico left, Jake Retzlaff leaving, like there's rumors about, he's going to go to Notre Dame. And you check into them and they're like, no, we got CJ Carr. So potentially the best offensive line in the country. Jeremiyah Love's on this team. Jeremiyah Love's another possibility here. But again, I'm with you, Ari, on the quarterback thing. These guys could be a top 4 seed in the playoff. If he puts up good numbers, he's gonna be in New York.
And I think that Jaden Greathouse is going to put him in a position to put up some numbers in the passing game too. So, like, I actually believe, and you roast me every year about how I usually go about voting for the Heisman.
No, I roasted you because you left Jaden Daniels off your ballot for a stupid reason.
I have since come to realize that was dumb. Okay. But I also do think, like, part of the reason, like, we and you both arrived at the same thing last year with Travis Hunter. But, like, I also took into account, like, his background and stuff too. Like, when voting, like, I think about, like, the narrative aspect of it, I think, more than you do. Because I think that it epitomizes the award, not just being good at football. Because if you simplify it to just who's the best player, then the wrong person has won most years, in my opinion. So when I think about the way people vote now, though, the thing that scares me about CJ Carr is I'm not sure the numbers are going to be there. And do you think
they're going to run the ball really well?
They're going to run the ball really, really well. Notre Dame isn't an aired out type team usually. And the question that will always remain to me is, do you have to have a certain benchmark statistical output to win the award?
Oh, I think you do, especially now, especially because offenses work the way they do now. And you're gonna have quarterbacks with counting stats. And by counting stats, I mean passing yards, touchdown passes, that sort of thing, not more advanced stats like air yards and all that. You're going to have quarterbacks with counting stats that are absurdly high because somebody plays for an up-tempo offense versus somebody plays for a more deliberate offense like Notre Dame's.
Certainly conceivable, and I'm sure I could look this up. I'm going to look this up. You talk, but where do you think Riley Leonard finished in passing yards last year?
Oh, it was very...
Was it like in the 50s somewhere probably? I don't know.
I can look it up right now. But
I'm looking it up right now, but it's the point I'm trying to make is that it's a conceivable thought to have Notre Dame in the CFP semifinals and be a very good team that loses 0 or 1 times in the regular season, and for CJ Carr to be somewhere in the 30s in passing.
Riley Leonard finished 39th in passing yardage in the country last year, just behind Billy Edwards Jr. from Maryland, who's now at Wisconsin.
He finished 89th in total passing.
Well, I'm just going by passing yards.
Okay, 224 passing all games.
Oh, because he played that many games. So his yards per game, he'd be way down because he played a bunch of games.
Yeah, 89th is yards per game. Yeah, but anyway, the point stands on both stats that he wasn't in the top 5.
Yes. No, and wasn't going to be. Now, I will say, I think Notre Dame... part of that is because Riley Leonard was more limited as a thrower than CJ Carr. Also, they hadn't quite figured out what to do with Jaden Greathouse yet. Now I think they know. Jordan Faison was hurt a lot of last season. They didn't have Will Pauling yet. Will Pauling's an interesting addition for them.
And I just want to make sure that the point isn't to compare CJ Carr directly to Riley Leonard. I know that if Notre Dame's going to be successful, that CJ Carr is going to have to be.
But what I'm saying is they probably are going to throw more this year.
They are.
A couple of reasons. Their receiving core is better. The quarterback is a better thrower than he is a runner. Riley Leonard,
which is the exact
really good runner too.
Last year. But the point
also, their defense might not be as dominant, and they may have to throw some more.
The only reason why I brought up Riley Leonard, though, is to illustrate how far a team can go without putting up big numbers with the quarterback. And like I think that like Notre Dame could conceivably go that far again without CJ Carr being a Heisman finalist. But at the same time, Notre Dame does give you an extra lift. Like you start further down the track by being like that. And that's why if you look at the
I don't think Manti Te'o goes to New York if he doesn't play for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the odds of players that are ahead of him, like Julian Sain has the 6th best odds in college football, and it's not because he's that much better than some of the other players on the list. It's because you are already along the line if you're Ohio State's quarterback. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah. I believe and now one thing I will say here. If we think CJ Carr isn't going to put up enough numbers to be considered, but we think Notre Dame's going to be really good, then we may want to consider Jeremiyah Love in this spot because Jeremiyah Love's plus 5,000. But if Notre Dame is a national title contender and they're winning consistently and they are not doing it by putting up huge numbers through the air, it probably means that Jeremiyah Love is eating on the ground.
The thing that's interesting is that Jeremiyah Love and CJ Carr virtually have the same odds.
Yeah.
So if you like look and you have to pick between those two, I also wonder if having multiple really good team players in the same offense negs you because you don't like it splits voters sometimes.
Well, okay, Devontae Smith, Mac Jones is a good example of that. And in fact, that Heisman year or that 2020 season, you had Devontae Smith and Mac Jones were both finalists. Kyle Trask was a finalist. Kyle Pitts, who was Kyle Trask's teammate at Florida, probably should have been a finalist.
Who I will be drafting for the 5th straight year, by the way, in fantasy football.
It's never going to happen.
You think it's never going to happen?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe with Penix it'll happen.
You saw him play, 12 times in person? How
It was incredible. It was incredible.
It doesn't equate to me how it's not working.
I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't. But no. So yeah, we're going to see that in a few places with the multiple good player. You got the Julian Sain and Jeremiah Smith, and Julian Sain and Jeremiah Smith. By the way, both their odds are too low for us to take in this exercise. But you also have the situation where Drew Aller we can't take. But we could take Katron Allen or Nick Singleton. Nick Singleton is another one of my guys that I thought about. Nick Singleton is plus 30,000, 300-1.
Yeah, well, the problem with him is that he's going to be splitting carries with another elite running back.
Katron Allen. Yeah.
So it's just if he was the only player on in Penn State's backfield or the bell cow, then I think that his odds would be reflected with that. But so I'll give you one. All
right.
What do we think of Dylan Raiola?
Oh, if Dylan Raiola is good, people will be diving to vote for him.
Because there's nobody else on Nebraska's offense that is getting preseason fanfare. I think Nebraska has a chance to contend for the playoff this year, I think. And by that, I mean a 9-3 fringe 10-2 team.
Which is good enough. Like you don't have to make the playoff. You just need to be in the mix.
And also, he has the Patrick Mahomes name recognizability. Is that a word?
I don't even know if it's that. I mean, it might be that people just turn on the game and it's like, because he's doing a Patrick Mahomes impression so often. Is that Patrick Mahomes?
I think a general fan knows who he is, which really, and the fact that he could have gone to Georgia, like his story is interesting. A player that could have gone to Ohio State and Georgia, spurned both, goes to Nebraska because of home connections and makes Nebraska really, really good again. You know, fulfilling the prophecy, for instance, like that. I mean, that's the whole thing that we were all talking about last year. Can he fulfill the Matt Rule prophecy? And that to me is the narrative angle that also goes along with being very, very good. And like, I don't know that I believe that that'll happen. But I think at 40-1, you ought to think about it, you know, like, it's worth $100 or $50 or whatever your units are. Like, I don't know. Like, and then you could be a Nebraska fan for a year, you know,